A view of center court at a Warriors game. Not from $3,000 courtside seats, but from inside a virtual reality headset.
Oh, this is sick.
NextVR has partnered with the NBA to broadcast select games in virtual reality. The goal is to make it feel like you're actually at the game. It's not there yet, but it's getting closer. We got a sneak peek of what it takes to put on a live VR broadcast and what's coming next to make the VR experience feel more realistic.
Those cameras, when they're turned on, build a map of the world around them. So right now, these camera positions get you really close to the action. So if it's happening in either, at the end of either court, in the end zones, where you're there with those stanchion cameras, and you can see, layups come up and sort of happen driving towards you as a viewer.
NextVR is already testing out its next generation camera, which is smaller and has better resolution, allowing for more cameras in more places.
We feel like we can optimize the position on the stanchion because the cameras can actually be embedded in the padding. Right now you have 3 degrees of freedom when you watch our content. That's yaw, pitch, roll. So you can look around. That will, in the very near future, open up to allow you some amount of physical movement. For instance, if a referee is standing in front of that center court camera, you can look around him, just like you could if you were sitting there.
Unlike other VR creators, NextVR does not stitch the images together from an array of cameras.
The technical term for it is stereo orthogonal reproduction. So what happens is the cameras build a map, basically a mesh of the world around them, and that is transmitted all the way down to the end user. So when you're watching our content, you're actually inside a virtual world that's a mesh copy of the actual arena, and then we projection map the video to the walls of that mesh to complete the illusion of it being real.
In a production truck that's just outside the arena, a team is making sure everything is synced. They're switching the live camera views, adding 3D graphics and stats, and turning around highlights and replays.
Our game is produced from inside virtual reality. So if you're in our truck, you'll see producers who actually have headsets on or watching the game in VR and talking to our talent, our own commentators, who are calling the game in virtual reality, which, by the way, is a different discipline than calling it for television. Almost entirely different, because you actually tell people where to look. Hey, look down, type of thing. Give them spatial direction about sort of the experience.
NextVR claims the technology can sometimes fool your brain into believing you were really at the game.
We've had reporters suggest that at some point in their season, this season, they will have a hard time remembering which games they actually attended in person and which games they attended in VR, which means we're laying down memories in people's minds as if they were there.
The technology here is really impressive. It's still not as good as being there live. You're still missing that social aspect of being at the game with others, and that will evolve in time, but what we have here right now is a peek into the future. It's really good, and virtual reality experiences are only going to get better.